And hoist sail, shouted Connor. The enormous, shapeless piece of cloth gradually stretched into a tight square as Kai, Owen and Alice hauled on the lines from below. Kai's powerful muscles easily trimmed his side of the sail. He had been a sailor in the fleet before he lost his eye, and then he'd become elite security for the Vestigian Council. Even though he was now first mate of the Legend and no longer Ellie's personal bodyguard, she was glad he was still watching out for this crew. On the other end of the sail, Owen and Alice were not having such an easy time. "Pull, Owen! You're not helping!" shouted Alice. "I am pulling," Owen grunted, his face red from the effort. His knowledge of chemicals and electricity had saved the Legend during a battle and a lightning storm, but the 10-year-old boy's arms weren't much thicker than the line he was handling. His yellow dog Sunny stood behind him, barking. When they finally got the line cleated off, Alice and Owen came for a drink from the water pail. "We really need a mechanical way to trim those sails," said Owen. He opened his shirt pocket to check on his blue-stripe ribbon snake, Moby. "I'll work on inventing something." Alice looked up at the repaired sail. "My patch looks good, though. I'd say I'm a natural sailmaker." "Natural for a landlubber, maybe," said Connor from above them, rolling his eyes. "Don't get cocky. Any sailmaker's work can fall apart." Alice sniffed. "I have as much experience being a sailmaker as you have being a captain." Ellie noticed Connor's ears turning red. "Back to work. Deck needs scrubbing." "Yes, Captain." Alice turned on her heel and stalked off. Ellie called up to Connor. "Have you seen Jude?" Connor jerked his thumb behind him. "Up here. He's doing some woodwork." Ellie and Vivian climbed the stairs to the quarterdeck. Jude, Vivian's husband and the Legend's second mate, doctor and carpenter, was kneeling in the far corner, half hidden behind some barrels and spare lumber. He was hammering in a new section of railing while Alice's 6-year-old sister Amy followed him, sanding down the rough wood. Suddenly she let out a wail and dropped her sandpaper. "Ow!" She held out her thumb to Jude. "It hurts." Jude set down his hammer. "Looks like you have a splinter there." "Make it better?" Concentrating closely, Jude pinched the splinter between 2 fingers and pulled. Amy whimpered and he dabbed at her thumb with his handkerchief. "There. All better." She held out her thumb again. "Kiss it." "Mama said kisses make things all better." Alice and Amy's mother had died just a few months ago in the attack on Rinlear. Jude kissed Amy's thumb. "How's that? Better?"
"Uh-huh."
Amy kissed her thumb again herself. "Good." Jude looked up and saw Ellie and Vivian. "Thanks for being such a good helper, Amy. Why don't you go see what Sunny is doing?"
"Okay."
Amy hugged Jude and ran off down the stairs. Vivian smiled as Jude stood up, tucking his handkerchief back in his pocket. "You're going to make such a good daddy." She stood on tiptoe to kiss his cheek. Jude smiled thoughtfully, his hand brushing her belly. "I hope so. How's the work on the riddle going?" Ellie held up her painting.
"Vivian said I should show you this."
Jude took the painting and looked at it closely. "Hakaran. Interesting."
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.